try it again. Okay, now we're working. Okay, so yesterday we worked on our area models, and when we started working on our area models, we actually did it like this. And get this straight for you guys. There we go. And we started off outlining all of the boxes so that we could count them, so you could see them. I need you to see those squares. I keep saying boxes, I apologize. The squares. I need you to see the squares. That's what we're counting. So on the first area models that we did, we outlined all of the squares. Then we moved on and we started not outlining all the little squares on the inside. We just did the squares and the rectangles on the outside. And then we used the lines that were naturally on the graph paper to help us count, just to double check ourselves. So we used our multiplication chart. We're learning how to use this so that we can find the answers to our multiplications. And then knowing what the answer is, the number of squares in this inside area should match. So that was a way for us to check ourselves, double check, and make sure that we got it right. Today we're going to take it a step further. We're going to take it to the next level. Okay, so here we have number 1 that says 5 times 3. I want to use my multiplication chart to check, so I know that my answer, you probably have 5 times 3 memorized, I hope. So here's 5 times 3, and our answer is 15. 15, yeah, good. So it's 15. So we know what our numbers are. 5 times 3 equals 15. So now we're going to illustrate it. We're going to show the picture. So this is 5 rows of 3, technically. So now I'm just going to freehand think, okay, is this going to be a rectangle or a square? It's 5 times 3.
A rectangle.
It's going to be a rectangle because our numbers are not the same. So one side is going to be longer than the other. And the 5 is longer than 3. So 5 rows. So I know that my row side is going to be longer. So I'm going to draw a line. And this is going to be my 5 rows. But now it's just one long line. It's not 5 little lines like we were doing yesterday. Did we do a 5 times 3 yesterday? No, we did a 4 times 3. We have a 5 times 2. Okay, so yesterday when we did it, we had 5 little lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you're doing now is just drawing one line to represent 5 little lines. Okay, and we're not doing times 2, we're doing times 3. So now we're going to come right across the top. And I don't want it to be as long as this one because I want a rectangle. So I'm doing a rectangle. This is 5 long. This side is going to be 5 long. On a rectangle, the opposing sides match. They're parallels, actually, too, because they stay the same distance apart all the way down. So these lines are parallel. We're going to close the rectangle with another parallel line that will be the same length as the top. So this will also be 3. We could write the number here. We don't have to. So now, if we had all the little lines and graph paper and all the little squares, do you know how many squares would fill this area?
15.
It'll be 15, that's right, we looked it up. So if we had 5 rows with 3 in each row, that means there will be 15 squares. It will take 15 squares to fill this area. So the total is 15. And now we're going to write it as a sentence right underneath. 5 times 3 equals 15. So you're just repeating what you have here in a complete sentence, right below it. Okay, so, oh, this was number 1. I'm going to go ahead and put a little number 1 right there next to it. You can see you don't want to make this gigantic. We have 14 problems on top and 15 on the bottom. And if we keep it about this size, you could probably get all of the top half on one page, and then you'll be able to get the bottom half on the back of another page. But if you start making these great big gigantic rectangles, you're not going to have enough paper. So number 2 says 6 times 4. I'm going to have 6 rows of 4. Is that going to be a rectangle or a square?
Rectangle.
Rectangle, because the numbers are different. Good, rectangle. And 6 is longer than 4. So I'm going to have 6 times 4. Now, if you notice, this looks very much like the one I just had over here, doesn't it? 6 is more than 5, so I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Doesn't have to be perfect. 4 is a little bit longer than 3, isn't it? It's more than 3. So I'm going to make this one just a little bit longer over here. So this is my 6 rows, 4 in each row. And then I'll finish out the rectangle. Are these perfect? Nope, it's a model. That's why it's called a model. It's just a representation of your thinking. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be as close to, it as you can make it. So now do we know what 6 times 4 is? How many squares would it take to fill this area if we had 6 rows with 4 in each row? So if we have 6 rows, good, with 4 in each row, 24. Now you can see why either if you have your multiplication memorized, your facts memorized, that's great. If not, and some of these harder ones you might not, this is very helpful because look, do you have squares to count now? There's no squares, right? There's no squares filling the area. You have to be able to imagine how many are in there. 24. I've had kids try to draw it, make the 6 rows, make the 4. On numbers that are smaller, like 5 times 3 or 2 times 3, that's pretty easy to do. But when you start getting into numbers that are 8 times 9, and we're going to get even bigger, into like 25 times 6, you're not going to be able to draw it in there. You're going to need to know how to get those answers without having the squares there to count. So let's make our sentence. We're going to have 6 times 4 equals 24. I would like to add a little something. I realize I should have done it here too. Put a little SQ right here. Why do you think I want you to put SQ right there? What do you think it stands for?
Squares.
Squares, yeah, that's right. Because we always want to be thinking about a total of what? 24 what? If I made 3 batches of cookies and there was 4 cookies in each one, how many cookies do I have? 12 cookies. So you always want to be thinking the total of what? I have 12 what? So here we have 15 squares. Here we have 24 squares. Okay, let's look at number 3. Oh, I forgot to put my answer on my paper. Here we go, 24. Good. So here we don't put the squares because this is just a straight multiplication fact. But on an area model, you do put squares because you're imagining how many squares would be on the inside there. Okay, number 3, we have 2 times 5. Oh, okay, so let's imagine this. This is 5, this is 6. Now this is only going to be 2 rows. And now my rectangle is going to go along this way. 2 rows of 5. fill out the rectangle. I bet you already know this one. Do I even need to get my chart? What's 2 times 5?
10.
It's 10. Yeah, good.
10.
It's 10.
10.
2 times 5 equals 10. Check my email and see if Miss Capote. Oh, poor Felix. I keep admitting him and he can't get back in. Okay. Let me put something on the chat to him so that he knows. All right, let's try it again. Okay. All right, number 4. 9 times 4. Okay, so 9 times 4. Is it going to be a square or a rectangle?
A rectangle.
Rectangle. Yeah, we've got a long one too. This is going to be 9. So this is 6. So if I start right here, I know that's about 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to have 4 across. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like that one. So 9 rows of 4. All right, finish out your rectangle. Now, this is one of those bigger ones that we probably don't have memorized. So how many squares would it take to fill that area? So 9 rows? Yep, 9 rows of 4. Good. 36. Good job. Good job. 36. 9 times 4 equals 36 squares. And then up here, I'll just put 36. Good, good, good. Ooh, number 5. 8 times 5. Okay, so this is kind of fun because 8 is going to be a little bit less than 9, so a little bit shorter. There's my 8 rows. And then 5 across, so it's going to be a little bit longer than that.
40 is 40.
8 rows of 5. Okay, finish out the rectangle. And 5s are pretty easy for you to count, I'm sure. I'm going to double check on my chart. 8 times 5 is, whoops, there we go. I was off camera. It's 40. Good job. It's 40. 40 squares to fill that area. 8 times 5 equals 40 squares. And I'll put a 40 right there. There we go. All right, 5 times 4. So I'm just going to come back over here. And I'm going to put number 5 or number 6 right here. And I'll just try and fill in this paper as best I can. If I see a little tiny one, maybe I'll stick it right up there. We'll see what we come up with. So we have 5 times 4. Okay, so 5 rows of 4. 5 times 4. How many squares will it take to fill that area if I have 5 rows of 4?
20.
Yeah, there it is, 20. Good job. 20 squares.
If I quickly look at my thing can.
Yep, so I've got it just here and then 20 squares there. Good job. Number 7. 5 times 5. Okay, this is interesting because we can use this one to help us get the answer to this one. So don't say it out loud yet. Don't say it. So it's going to be 5 again. So it'll be about the same length. It's going to be a little bit longer than this one. So we have 5 rows of 5. I'll finish out this. So 5 rows of 5. 5 times 5. Well, if 5 times 4 is 20, then 5 times 5 would just be another 5. We're putting another 5 on there. So what's 20 plus 5? Yeah, 25. Good job. So this would be 25. And if I did 5 times 6, it would be
30.
30. And 5 times 7 would be 35. You just keep asking, and that's that repeated addition. So that's why the repeated addition part is important, because you might have a harder one, like say 9 times 4 is 36, and then you get 9 times 5 or 9 times 6, and you know, oh, I can just keep adding on and I can get my answer. So this is 25 squares to fill this area. 25, there we go. Okay, number 8, 4 times 3. Did we do that already? No, we did not do that already. Okay, 4 times 3. Do we have any little tiny ones? I'm going to look. No, this is actually the smallest one that we're going to have, I mean shortest wise. So I'm going to go ahead and put number 8 right here. I'm going to tuck it up in that space. 4 rows of 3. It's going to be a rectangle because the numbers are not the same. So 4 times 3, roughly. 4 rows of 3. Do you have 4 times 3 memorized?
12. 12.
Yeah, that one, it comes up a lot. We see 4 times 3 and 3 times 4 quite a bit. So you'll get that one memorized pretty fast. That is 12. Good job. So that is going to be 12 squares to fill that area. Good. Number 9 is 6 times 3. I wonder if I could squeeze it in right here. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can squeeze it right there.
You froze.
Am I frozen? Am I back? Oh, you're all frozen. All right, 6 times 3. Oh, wow. Looks like I lost Zoom. The whole thing went down. All right, let's see if I can get him back. All right, good old Zoom. Site can't be reached. Okay, I'm going to keep right on going. So 6 times 3. Let's look at 6 times 3, which is 18. 6 rows of 3. 18 squares. No internet. Ooh, that's not a good sign. Let's try it again, see if we get it back. Still none. Wow. Yep, everything's down. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Number 10. I'm going to come right here and put number 10. And number 10 says 7 times 4. So I'm going to drop this down here. 7 rows of 4. 7 rows of 4. And let's lose our chart so that we can see what we have here. 7 times 4. 7 rows of 4 is 28. Okay, 28. Oops, I forgot to write my multiplication sentence. 7 times 4 equals 28 squares. See that there? Okay, 28. All right, number 11 says 8 times 2. I'm just going to put number 11 right here. 8 times 2, 8 rows of 2. Fill in your rectangle. Start your sentence. 8 times 2. And looks like we're coming back. Good, good, good. See if we can get everybody back on. Here we go. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 squares to fill that area. And we're connecting. Here we go. Getting everybody back. Here they come. Number 12. 6 times 5. Yeah, the internet dropped or something. I'm on number 12. Hope you guys kept on going.
Out, and I was like,
That's right. Keep going.
12.
I'm on number 12. You gotta catch up to me.
Okay, I gotta catch up.
Can we do the last row by ourselves?
Yeah, can we do the last
Oh, looks like my camera's not gonna work. Hang on, let me unplug and plug again. All right.
Mrs. Robert,
Yes.
so we show our furry friends.
And we'll do that in a little bit. We're gonna finish our math first. Okay, here we go. Number 12. Number 12 is 6 times 5. So I'm gonna have 6 times 5. That's a fairly big one. 6 rows of 5. And I'll get my multiplication chart. So I can see 6 rows of 5 is 30 squares. 30 squares. Oh, I forgot to write my sentence. 6 times 5 equals 30 squares. Okay. Oops, this one, number 12, 30. Ooh, look at number 13. 7 times 6. That's a big one. 7 times 6. Okay, well, I want to fit all of these on the page. 3 times 7, I think I can squeeze in right here. So I'm going to try and put number 13 right here. The scale is not going to be the same. I'm not going to be able to make it 7 rows so that it's bigger than, say, 5 rows. I just don't have enough room. So that's okay. We're going to go ahead and make this work. I'm going to draw 7 this way, 7 rows. And then when I make my 6, I just want to make it a little bit shorter than this one. Okay, that looks about right. So just don't even pay attention to what the size is of all your other ones. Just kind of start fresh. And so this 6 should be a little bit shorter than that one. And then finish off your rectangle. Oops, and look what I did. I went all the way to the bottom. I didn't leave myself any room for a sentence. So, you know what? I'm going to write my sentence right inside. 7 times 6. Now this one is probably one that you don't have memorized because it's one of those tricky ones. So let's go ahead and look here. 7 rows, 6 in each row.
42.
42 squares. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a pretty good sized area model. So 42 squares. I'm just going to go ahead and put it right there inside the area model since I ran out of room. 42 here on my board. Let's get them back in. All right, so we have one more, number 14. And it's 3 times 7, so I'm going to squeeze that one in right here. 3 rows of 7. Nice long skinny one, huh? Kind of works out perfect. There we go. And I'm going to write it inside again. 3 times 7 equals. Okay, so 3 times 7. 21. 21 little squares inside that area model. 21 squares. 21. Okay, so your homework, your work for this afternoon is to do all of these. I don't think we have any zeros today, so they won't be throwing you for a loop. You should probably be able to get them all onto one page. And so, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put up on top. I'm going to write Wednesday, and this is part A. That way you don't get confused.
I still have half of my paper.
Yeah, that's
Right.
good, and that's fine. And if you need another paper, like if you get another one and then you need another one, it's okay. Go ahead and use it. Use what you've got. And so that is your homework for today.